Way back at the beginning of the season that Dunmore and West Scranton were going to be playing for the Eastern Conference title, I would have said, I don't think so. Well, here they are. Top-ranked Bucks of Dunmore against the 10th-ranked Invaders of West Scranton. They're not strangers, these two. They played once before this season. Dunmore won it. Last time you two guys played, what sticks in your mind the most about that football game?
Final score.
The final score. It was 14-7. That was 8 weeks ago, and neither team has lost since. Dunmore coach Jack Henzis isn't resting much on that win. He knows the Invaders are better now.
They've improved 100% since that particular time, which seems, very, very difficult to do, but they've definitely improved their football team a great deal.
The Bucks will come out with their running brothers, Bill and Bob Ruddy. Bill, off knee surgery a month ago, has racked up 1,000 yards on the ground. Bob over 1,300. Hey, they're not going to fool anybody. The Bucks are going to run. Here at West Scranton, the final football practice of the year, and even at the very end, practicing and making extra points and field goals because they know how important they can be. The Invaders know the value of the kicking game. Last week against Coughlin, the kicking game was the difference. The Invaders should get some opportunities. They come at you with 1,400-yard rusher Joe Spano, and they come at you with Tony Zygmunt, who's combined for over 1,000 yards. Coach Joe D'Antona knows this will be the toughest game his kids have played all year. Do you have anything in mind that you may try to do different this time that you wish you had done in the first game?
Oh, I don't know about that. Like I said, it comes down to a couple of plays, and of course, on those plays that we broke down, we feel that we have prepared for those plays. But other than that, we have to play with what got us there.
The last time they played, the game was decided on 2 or 3 key plays. It looks tomorrow like it could be the very same story. We've had Dunmore in the #1 spot since the 6th week of the season. West Scranton has come on like gangbusters, but I'm going to stick with our rankings and go with Dunmore in a game that will be decided by less than a touchdown. Class B, same thing. Blue Mountain's been at the top since, the early part of the rankings and most of the season, so I think that they will win a high-scoring game. We go live at 1 o'clock from Dunmore, and then live cut-ins from Crestwood and from Bloomsburg, where the Huskies are playing in the NCAA playoffs. It's all here tomorrow on 16. All right, let's go now to the basketball courts. NBA, the 6th. Dunmore ranked #1 in the Super 16, 12-0, including a win last week against powerful Williamsport. West Scranton, 11-1. The 10th-ranked Invaders got here by beating 2nd-ranked Coughlin. West Scranton's only loss came against Dunmore, 14-7. Now, the return match with the Eastern Conference title as the prize.
WNEP-TV Sports presents Eastern Conference Championship.
Hello, everybody. Joe Zone and Paul Olis live at Gatto Stadium in Dunmore. The rain has stopped, and Paul, we expect a sweet football game this afternoon.
Joe, the weather may be damp, but the spirit is high for the first classic matchup between these two teams. First time ever that two teams from the same division will play for the championship. It should be a good one. Now, our colleague Tim Carlson is down on the sideline. Tim, what's it like down there?
Okay, thanks, Timmy. Now let's go to Jay Christopher back at Sports Central.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. There's another Class B high school championship football game being played. It's underway at this hour between Crestwood and the Eagles of Blue Mountain. Now, our John Evans is there. John, after the kickoff, tell us what's the development.
Jay, I'll tell you, it's already 7-0 Crestwood. Second play of the game, Dean Ambosi went the left side, went 70 yards for a touchdown. 10:48 left in the first quarter. Crestwood's already up 7-0.
Thank you very much, John. There will be a couple of other games that we'll be keeping tabs on, and that's the one from Bloomsburg, where Bloomsburg plays Hampton, Virginia, in a NCAA Division II contest. The winner of that one goes on to further play, of course. We'll also have some cut-in information on Stroudsburg and East Stroudsburg of the Little Brown Jug game. Right now, before the kickoff...
All right, we're all set for the kickoff of the big match, classic match between West Scranton and Dunmore. Harold Magnotta will tee the ball up for the Invaders. The deep man is Tony Zygmunt. The up backs will be Spano and Evans. And we're all set to go. Hope you enjoyed another live and exclusive sports presentation here on Channel 16.
And Paul, just
not only this game, but other coverage coming up.
The rain has stopped right now. The field was covered right up until about noon. So right now it's as dry as possibly could be. It will be a little sloppy.
Here is Magnata's kick to get it underway. A high sailor. This is going to be Zygmunt right at the 5. Plants his feet to the 10, 15. Tries the center of the line, and a big pileup. Maybe a loose ball underneath. And you see the big pileup right off the bat. But it'll be West Scranton still in control of the football, and they will be spotting it somewhere at the 23-yard line.
And as you can see, 37 degrees here today. Rain has stopped, a little sloppy, but we expect these teams to run the ball up and down the field today. Not as much throwing as you might see if the conditions were different, although, as you know, Dunmore likes to run anyway with the two ready boys.
All right, for West Scranton, this is the first play from scrimmage. They spotted out about the 23-yard line. It'll be Kennedy, Evans the fullback, Spano the tailback, and the wingback is Tony Zygmunt. The tailback Spano, who rushed for over 1,400 yards this year, gets just barely a yard, Joe.
Yes, the West Scranton offense is a little bit more dynamic. They go to the Spano boy, who's rushed for 1,400. They've got Zygmunt, an all-purpose back, for over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving this year, so they may try to do a few more things with the football than Dunmore will do.
So it'll be 2nd and 8. They will be alternating the right side of the line. The end positions, P.J. Lindsay and Bill Kennedy, brother of Bob Kennedy, will be bringing in the plays from head coach Joe D'Antona. 2nd and 8 at the 25 of West. Bob Kennedy, 6 foot, 180-pound senior, and the tough defensive line. Maybe a yard and a half. It'll be still 3rd down and a long 5 coming up, so a big play.
Defense, no surprise at all. Both of these teams have played outstanding defense all year long, and defense really has been the key to the success for these two football teams. So I expect this kind of hard-hitting and a low-scoring football game.
Well, there you saw some of the offensive, defensive lineups coming at you. Ruddy, Hopkins, DiNapoli, Hartshorn, Cara, Altman, and Agnata. Xenophon, Shavachi, Xenophon, and Viola, and this is the guy that likes to run the ends, but he's tripped up short of the first down.
That Dunmore defense just spread it out, took it down the line, did not allow him to turn the corner, and he'll come up short, and West Scranton will punt on their first possession.
And the man who made the tackle is Griff Altman, the left linebacker, who leads the team in tackles with 58 unassisted tackles. So it'll bring up 4th and force the Invaders into a punting position.
Joe D'Antona calling out the signals on the sideline. The very successful head coach here at West Scranton. One loss this year for West. It came against Dunmore about 8 weeks ago. 7 weeks ago it was a 14-7 game.
The punter is Bill Stetzer, number 80. He has punted 37 times, an average 30 yards a kick. Xenophon is back to on the fly at the 45 to the 50-yard line, and there he is decked.
Nice coverage again by the West Scranton defense. Now watch these kids, Paul. Now coming out at you will be the two ready boys, Billy and Bobby, the twin brothers. They've rushed between them for 2,500 yards this year. They run the ball under the...
We're going to take a break here at BJ Gatto. 9 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in period number 1. There is no score here on a cold, damp, rainy day at BJ Gatto Stadium in Dunmore. However, the weather has not dampened the spirits. We have a full crowd, even standees around the fence. Dunmore, Joe, comes out of it in pretty good field position after that punt.
Well, first possession for West Scranton, 3 downs and punt. The Dunmore defense and the West Scranton defense, I suspect, is going to dominate the football game this afternoon.
Here they come. Tim Hopkins, the first man over the ball, ready to snap it to Mark Xenophon. DiNapoli is the fullback, and Bill Ruddy is still resting. This is Bob Ruddy, the tailback, the slashing power back. He is across the 50 to the 45-yard line. He has averaged 9 yards a carry, amazingly, Joe.
Both of these boys play off of one another, and you can't discount Bill Ruddy, who had knee surgery 3 weeks ago, minor knee surgery, but they didn't take cartilage out. He is back to the lineup after 3 weeks, and last week played in the game.
There is your offensive line: Kinser, Haddock, Hopkins, Cara, and Morocco. 2nd and 5 at the West 45. This is going to be Bill Ruddy. So the Ruddy twins have got their taste of offensive power, and immediately they pick up the first down.
Well, as I said, they're not going to fool anybody. This is what Dunmore does. As you look at the West Scranton defensive line, and this defense has only given up 45 points during the first 11 games this year. A very difficult, hard defense for West Scranton.
First and 10 inside the 40-yard line of the 39. Shovel pass to Bill Ruddy. He goes to the short side of the field, and there he is, gang tackle. Mark Spindler leading the way, the junior right tackle. 61 unassisted tackles for Spindler. Also Art Coyne, who was the hero in last week's game against Coughlin. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. Early in the first period, there is no score. The field was completely... They took it off about an hour before game time, but as you can tell, the rain that we've had in the past 2 weeks, it will be soggy, and they'll be kicking up grass as the game progresses. 2nd and 10. At the West 40, movement on the line.
And the Dunmore right side of the offensive line, a little quick on the snap. That'll be 5 yards for Dunmore, and it'll put them back in a 2nd and 15 situation.
Joe, we talked to a lot of coaches before the game, and they assessed the field, and both teams said it may turn out to be a defensive game.
Yeah, that would not surprise me at all, especially when you look at the style of play for these two teams. They both have won all season with defense, and this field is very conducive to defense, and look for 1 or 2 key plays maybe to turn this game.
So a 5-yard penalty will make it 2nd and 15, closer to the West 45-yard line now. Mark Xenophon, the diminutive, little quarterback, gives it to the first man through, and that is Di Napoli. He's rushed for 36 times, 187 yards this year. Di Napoli, who spells Bill Ruddy at fullback, but he has a 5-yard average. Not bad.
I'll tell you, I asked Coach Joe D'Antona of West earlier this week what makes a great defense, which his team has, and he says these kids are aggressive. They all go to the ball. They've all just hard-hitting, aggressive defensive team, and everybody wants to make the play, and that's why that defense is so tough.
3rd down and a long 14. Xenophon has not thrown too many passes, only 16 all year. Let's see if he pulls one out of the bag here. He goes back. Looking, ducking, and is down for the loss, and that will spoil their first bid to get downfield and across the line.
Well, they do not pass that often, only 16 passes all year, and as you watch now, the West Scranton defense just shut this play down.
Art Coyne started it all, and then Bill Connor scissored him down, the linebacker. So it'll be Magnotta doing the kicking. He's averaging 35 yards a punt. Spano and Zigmund, the twin men downfield. It's a short, wobbly punt. It'll bounce. At the 25, 20, picked up at the 8 by Zigmund. Comes to the sideline. He's to the 10, the 15, and a nice open field tackle on Zigmund. And the Invaders will be deep in their own territory.
And that was a terrific play by Tony Zigmund, because if he had not picked that ball up down there by the 2, that was definitely going to be down somewhere inside the 5. We've got no score here at Dunmore's Gatto Stadium. We'll be right back after this timeout.
And Tim Carlson down on the sidelines as we're set to play with 5 minutes and 57 seconds left to go in period number 1, and we have no score. The ball at the 16-yard line as you see the West offense getting set in gear. Bob Kennedy spins around, gives off to, let's check it out, whether it's Spano or Evans. And it was Spano.
Terrific second effort there by Spano. Jim Carr finally had to make the stop, but a terrific, and you understand why that young man has over 1,400 yards rushing this year.
14 touchdowns for Spano as he picks up 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. At the 22-yard line. So Dunmore has not crawled into Dunmore territory, while the Bucks have been there once.
And how about the crowd here? Standing room only to see this Eastern Conference Class A title game.
6 foot, 180-pound senior quarterback Bob Kennedy. The last man through, Tony Zigmund, looks for a hole, puts his head down, and finds nothing. Mike Di Napoli, the nose guard, who has 50 tackles on the year, responsible for the snap. Di Napoli scored a touchdown against Williamsport on a 32-yard romp last Saturday.
Both coaches told me, Paul, they would not try to do anything different this week than they have done all year. They're going to do the things that got them here, and that's what you're seeing so far. Running the ball and defense has been the big story for these two football teams.
As the old saying goes, go with what brung you here, and that's what they're doing with a third down and a couple. Stetzer, Spindler, Connor, Coyne, Granahan, Swilinski, and Lindsay across the line. Kennedy, Evans, Spano, and Zygmunt. And we'll have too much time. Delay of the game.
That's going to cost West Scranton 5 yards. A delay of game penalty will set them up now in a 3rd and 8, and that may well indeed change the call on this play. And they can pass.
Delay game, offense. Bill Stetzer is an outstanding split end pass receiver for the Invaders, but Tony Zygmunt is even more dangerous.
Kennedy likes to get to Zygmunt. He is their big play man. There's no doubt about that. Last week against Coughlin, a 73-yard big play for him.
So the up back is Evans, the tailback is Spano. Let's see what Kennedy elects to do on a big third down. He'll go to Spano on a draw, but he's slipping and sliding, and he'll lose ground. Timmy Hopkins, Joe, the man of the hour right there.
Well, watch what happens now. It looks like they're trying to clear something up on the right side, and just as he's about to make his cut, he slips a little bit, and Hopkins comes in, the 6'1", 220-pound senior, to make the play, and West Scranton's going to have to punt again.
So the second punt of the game for Bill Stetzer. Standing around the 50-yard line is Xenophon all alone. It's going to be a short kick. And the Bucks should even get a better roll on it. Down around the 32-yard line. So for the second time in the game, Joe, the Bucks have got good field position. Let's see if they can capitalize.
And now you'll watch that West Scranton defense try to dig in. Last week, and again, I bring it up how these teams got here. Last week against Coughlin, West Scranton's defense held up when Coughlin was driving 3 or 4 times late in the game, deep in their own territory. West did not give up a point and held on to win by a single point to win that game to get here. So West Scranton certainly knows about being on this end of the field.
Jeff Viola, the flanker back on the right side. The running backs are in the eye. Dina Poli. And the pass play is over the head of Viola. That time it was Harold Magnato with a little trick play throwing the pass instead of Xenophon going for the bomb on first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had Bob Kennedy by 3 or 4 steps, but he could not get the ball to him.
So the veteran Jackie Henzes comes out with a play that probably nobody expected. Henzes in his 14th year.
And it was a good play, too, Paul, because, as I said, he was wide open. That was a touchdown if they had been able to make the connection.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Viola again spread wide to the right side. Xenophon barks the signal. Handoff goes to Di Napoli, and Di Napoli even struggles for a couple of more yards. Gets about 5.
Right up the gut of that West Scranton defense, and as any good runner will tell you, you've got to have the good blocking in the offensive line. And right now, that's where this game is being battled, right in the line, in the trenches, as they say.
Ball at the West 28-yard line, third down and a little over 5, 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the first period. West and Dunmore in a rematch of a game played earlier this year. Dunmore won 14-7. This is Bill Ruddy, but the whistles will stop the play.
We've either got a motion or we've got a delay of game, and it's going to be against Dunmore.
Well, both these teams veterans of playoff action. West Scranton's been in the playoff championship for 5 years. They are 1 win and 3 losses, while Dunmore...
Dead ball. Ball starts. Offense.
That Dunmore has not won in 4 starts. Of course, they won their semifinal game. There's your officials, the referee Al Brogna, Robert Durano, Phil Morgan, Joan Roshkosh, and Blom.
3rd and 11 now for Dunmore.
The running backs this time are split. Viola, the flanker, is to the left side. And it's going to be a keeper play by Xenophon. He's fast, he's wiry, he spins, he twists and turns. Not enough for the first down, however. On around the 22-yard line, 23-yard line, it's going to bring up a 4th and 1.
Now watch the play action on here. He fakes into the line right here. Then the nice cut. It looks like he wanted to take that a little bit deeper. Not enough, though, for the first down.
He's small, but he's elusive and slippery. And they're going to call a timeout right here.
A little confusion, Paul. Looked like Dunmore was not sure which way they wanted to go on that, so they're going to go for it, it seems to me, on 4th down. Let's go back to Jay Christopher at Sports Central.
Okay, Joe, thank you. We're up here at Crestwood. Big play before. Blue Mountain had a 4th and 3 at the 4-yard line at the goal. Let's take a look at that play right now and see what Crestwood did. If we have that play, watch this. Rob Harris will be giving the handoff from Scott Luckenbill. Watch Mike O'Lean come around, stop him at that 3-yard line. Crestwood took over on downs. 7-0, 9:38 left in the second quarter. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, John Evans, thank you very much. And Crestwood with a great goal line stand there, leading in their game as they took an early lead on a big touchdown play early in the game. Right here, as you see, we have no score. Dunmore looking at a 4th down, 4th and about 2, it looks like. And I would suspect they're going to send one of their boys up the middle.
One of the Ruddy. They call them the Ruddy franchise here in Dunmore. What a magnificent job they've done. Bill out a couple of games, but he's back in today. And here we go, 4th down and 1. No score, less than 2 minutes to go in the first period. The ball at the 23-yard line. Full house backfield now in the power I formation. First time we've seen that. Xenophon to the payoff man. Bob Ruddy, does he or doesn't he? Gonna be close.
I don't think he got it. Look at that West Scranton defense just converge on the play. They're going to have to take a measurement, though. Very close, but I think he's short depending on where they mark the ball.
Kennedy and Russo are the defensive ends. Walensky and Spindler, the tackles. Art Coyne, the nose guard. The linebackers are Bill Connor and Mark Granahan. The monster back is Bill Fox, and the safeties are Kennedy, Emiliani, and Bill Stetzer. If you said that we mentioned Kennedy twice, we did. Bob and Bill are twins, and happy birthday. It is their birthday today.
And Dunmore made the first down. By the length of a football, they'll take over their first down on the 22-yard line.
So the drive stays alive as we have the clock clicking down to the 1 minute 30 mark here in the first period. Viola flanked out to the right. The Ruddy boys are in the backfield split. It's Bill Ruddy off guard. Sheer power running by Bob and Bill.
I talked to Bill Ruddy earlier this week. I said, what do you remember most about the first time you two guys played? He told me the final score, and the final score of that game was Dunmore 14-7.
Both scored against Williamsport last week, Bob scoring a pair and Bill scoring 1. Di Napoli also scored a TD for the Bucks. 2nd down and 7. Inside the 20-yard line. Field conditions holding pretty well. This is going to be the keeper play. The little guy may go, romping, and out of bounds he goes inside the 10-yard line. Mark Xenophon.
Terrific play now by Xenophon. It's a little bit of an option, really. He's got an option here to keep the ball or pitch it out. Watch it coming at you, going to the left side of your screen, fake up the middle. That's the standard. He's got it now. He's got an opportunity there to dish off, but instead decides to keep it and takes it for a big gainer on the first down. And Zygmunt there to shut that play down.
He's a little guy in stature, but he's a big sportsman. He plays 3 sports: basketball, football, baseball. He quarterbacks. He plays tight defensive safety, where he had 9 interceptions this year. Here we go with a 1st and goal to go inside the 10-yard line. Bob Ruddy hits the pile and penalty markers are down.
We got a flag down in the middle of that line on a running play. We'll just have to wait and see. The Dunmore cheerleaders really all out.
Holding against Dunmore.
Boy, there's a big penalty. That's going to drop them back and make it a 1st down and long yardage for Dunmore.
Dunmore lost to Lansford in 1943 in the playoff, and then successively to Mount Carmel, Shamokin, and Wilkes-Barre GAR right here in overtime.
Holding number on the red team.
So it still will be a 1st and goal to go, but this time the ball will be at the 16-yard line.
And they have to put it in the end zone. There is no 1st down available at this point because they had the ball down on the 6-yard line.
Well, last week, Xenophon opened the ball game with a pass, and that was the last he threw all day. Let's see what happens here with 1st and long. Again, the play option. He'll keep it again this time to the left side. Gets to the 15.
Bobby Kennedy did a terrific job that time getting outside, shutting that down, and making them take that play wide.
Well, you talk about ball control. If that was their game plan as the clock winds down, they've been doing it. Dunmore owing the football. So, there is no score here in the first quarter. The big championship game between West Scranton and Dunmore. And we'll be back with second half play in a moment. Hi, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Eastern Conference Championship football game. We're ready to crack open the second period. There is no score. Dunmore with a penalty pushes them back, but now they have a 2nd and goal to go at the West 15-yard line. And here they come. Xenophon, Ruddy, and Viola. Well, DiNapoli is the fullback. In motion comes Magnotta, and the pitch is to Bob Ruddy. 15, 10, 5, bye-bye, touchdown!
Watch what makes this play work. Watch the blocking out in front of Ruddy. Everybody's got somebody terrific blocking, and once he turns the corner, he's in the end zone as Dunmore lines up now to put the 7th point on the board.
Harold Magnotta, who's kicked 37 out of 39 through the uprights. Xenophon will hold. A bad snap, gets it up. It's high, it's long, and it is good. 7-0 Dunmore.
Well, even with the bad snap, he got the ball down in time. The ball goes to the upright, and it's 7-0 Dunmore on that drive after the bad punt to get on the board. We'll be back. 7-0 Dunmore.
Hi, everybody. Paul Olis, Joe Zone, and Tim Carlson. We're live and exclusive here from B.J. Gatto Stadium in Dunmore. The Bucks have just taken a 7-0 lead on the first play in the second period. 15-yard run for Bob Ruddy, his 24th touchdown of the year. This is Magnotta's kick, a short one. Spano fields it at the 27-yard line. Spano is neck tackle at the 35.
Well, that's fourth punt deep in West Scranton territory. It was a 35-yard drive with a penalty in there, and they did it the way they've been doing it all year. They threw one pass that fell incomplete, but everything else was run, run, run. Okay, we've got a new story up at Crestwood. John Evans up there for the Class B game. John.
Good afternoon. He just scored his 2nd touchdown. Let's look at the video if we can. He went left side the first time. This time he went to the right side. This is live pictures right now. Blue Mountain has the ball. This is Ambozi's run to the right side, 24 yards. He got outside, made the touchdown count. 4:34 of the second quarter. It's 14-0 Crestwood, but Blue Mountain is driving. Back to you, Joe.
All right, it's 14-0 up there in the Class B game. Crestwood right now leading Blue Mountain. And as we told you, Bloomsburg is also playing today. The Huskies in the NCAA Division II playoffs. We will have live updates from that situation when we have them available. Right now, though, Paul, 7-0 Dunmore West will take over on its own 30-yard line.
And immediately after this football game, CFA football on ABC. It's Auburn and Alabama right here. What a day for football on Channel 16. All right, the Invaders will try to get something going as Kennedy rifles one. It is almost intercepted. Van Chavachi, right, stepping in front of the receiver, almost had the interception, but a penalty marker is down, Joe.
Well, I was not surprised to see West Scranton try to open it up just a little bit, and there's going to be a holding call against, as you watch the replay now, not a very good pass. Knocked down, but in any event, it's going to be a holding call, and that's going to set West Scranton back.
All the way to the 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 25.
And to make it perfectly clear, it is a little difficult holding on to the football today, and so I think it will be tough to throw. Certainly, when it's wet and cold like this, it's more difficult to complete those passes.
All right, the Invaders now. Out of the huddle they come. Stetzer, Lindsay, Spindler, Swilinski, Connor, Granahan, and Coyne, the offensive line. Bob Kennedy, the quarterback, wants to pass the game, same right side. The rush is on. Kennedy, well, he completes it. but now they say no.
Well, that's a pretty headsy play by Kennedy. He's looking to be sacked back there for a 20-yard loss and just dumped the ball off to one of his receivers. His coach, Jack Henses, wants to know if that was an eligible receiver or not.
Well, he'd like to win his first Eastern Conference championship.
There's the replay on it now. It looks like he's going to be sacked for a big loss on this play, but he'll just get the ball off as Jim Cara thought he had a sack.
Well, you heard Henze say, watch the dump pass. Let's see. Nope, it's the draw this time. It is going to be Spanos. Spanos skirts across the 30 to about the 34-yard line, so he chews up quite a bit of territory, getting back what they lost in the penalty.
Jack Henses has had these young gentlemen fine-tuned all year long.
Learned the game from his father, Papa Bear of Blakely, then went on to George Washington University. Coached at Wyoming area for 3 years, and now here in Dunmore trying to win his first ever. 3rd down and 12. At the 28-yard line of West, a big play. Let's see if Kennedy go. He drops the football. It's a fumble and a big pileup.
It looks like West Scranton has indeed fallen on the football. They'll retain possession, but as I said, the ball is slippery. It's muddy out there, and you give Dunmore a lead, and those defensive players just smell it. Now watch the play. Never really had the ball. Bad connection between the center and the quarterback. And West Scranton now is going to be forced to punt. And if there's one thing they need now is to boom a kick out of there and drive Dunmore back a little bit.
Xenophon and Viola, the twin receivers. Billy Stetzer gets it away. High, wobbly kick. Viola with a fair catch at the 48-yard line. So the Bucks have had good field position all afternoon long, Joe.
Still, though, a nice kick. That's exactly what West Scranton needed to do. Get that ball out of their end of the field, and now at least make Dunmore drive the ball on them. And Dunmore, with a lead, will run and run and run. It's 7-0. Dunmore leading. We'll be back right after this.
There's nothing, and the Bucks in complete control of the ball here so far in the first half with 10 minutes left to go.
And so far the story has been field position. Dunmore has had it, West Scranton hasn't.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line of the Crimson Tide, as they were known many years back. Then they switched their name to the Bucks. And inside the ball goes. Maybe to the 50-yard line.
And I think West Scranton knows how very important it is right now to stop Dunmore. The last thing you do against this Dunmore defense is get down 14-0, especially with an offense that can control the ball like Dunmore can. So West Scranton right now is thinking, stop, get the ball back, and maybe get something up before the half. We've got 9:35 and counting here in the first half. Lots of time for West Scranton.
The ball at the 49-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Mark Xenophon ready to do the action, and again, he almost dropped it on his hip. Look out, he's in trouble in traffic and completes the pass. Griffman, 40, 35, and out of bounds he goes. At about the 26-yard line, Griff Altman.
What a terrific play by Xenophon, and I want you to watch the block by Harold Magnotta to spring that for about 15 more yards. Watch this now. Xenophon gets back, almost sacked right here, almost loses the ball, maintains pressure, throws here now. Watch the block right here by Magnotta. Boom, and that opens it up for 10 more yards. A big gainer for Dunmore.
The ball at the 28-yard line. Dunmore looking to hang another one up on the scoreboard. 1st and 10. The Ruddies in the backfield, the fake pitch, and Xenophon wants to go again. He's got Viola out there. Does he or doesn't he? Let's see what they call it is. It's a completion to Viola.
Oh, my. What a terrific catch by Viola. The ball is underthrown and on the other side of him. Now watch the play by Viola. It is underthrown, and to the other side, he turns around right here. Watch him turn completely around and makes the catch on the ground. And what's this? Dunmore has thrown back-to-back passes. They're set up on the 3-yard line.
Just about a 25-yard aerial attack that time by Xenophon. In the power I formation on the 1st and goal to go, and the pitch is to Bob Ruddy. Hurdles over inside the 5. 8 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the second period. 7-0, but it's been Dunmore completely dominating the offensive action here. Joe D'Antona.
Credit Joe Tolaney on defense for West Scranton for shutting that play down. He managed to penetrate and set that play out further than it was intended to go.
2nd and goal to go from the 4-yard line. Stacked up offensive line, power eye backfield. It's going to be Bob Ruddy pushing, shoving, maybe a yard on the play. Traffic gets terrific when you're down that close.
And wow, wouldn't this be an impressive stand right here for West Scranton? You talk about momentum. If West Scranton can hold here, that could perhaps turn the flow of this football game. 3rd and 2, Dunmore trying to make it 14-0, and West Scranton's defense in a goal line stance.
Bob Ruddy, who has now rushed for well over 1,500 yards. Dunmore had 44 yards rushing in that first period, and West only 14. Viola is wide. DiNapoli and Bob Ruddy in the backfield. Altman in motion. The pitch is to Bob Ruddy, left side. Tiptoes in. Touchdown, Dunmore.
Well, they tried 2 plays up the middle, Paul, and now they're going to take this one left. Get a couple of blocks right there. There's the nice cut inside, and there's the second touchdown of the game for Bobby Ruddy.
He now has 25 on the air. This is Magnotta trying to kick his 39th of the year. It's long. It's a line drive kick, and it's good. And it's 14-0, and they have the same amount of points that they beat West Scranton earlier in the year.
Well, the story has been field position, there's no doubt about that. And also, I think the story has been this passing attack on that series. 2 back-to-back passes for big gainers. May have caught West Scranton by surprise. It's 14-0, second quarter, Dunmore.
Joe, we have to keep one thing in mind. West Scranton, perhaps one of the better comeback teams in the league. They were down 12-0 against Coughlin, but they came out on the victorious end last week.
And I think that's a good point to make. Tony Zygmunt, Spano, those guys can break it big. And don't forget that West Scranton likes to pass the ball, and I think you're going to see them try to open it up here as we move into the latter stages of the first half.
West Scranton Invaders, with 7:32 left to go in the second period, have not penetrated Dunmore territory as of yet.
One thing I do know, these West Scranton kids have not given up. They don't think they're out of this football game in any way, shape, or form.
Harold Magnotta teeing up the football. The deep men will be Spano, Evans, and the deepest is Zygmunt at the 5-yard line. Cold, damp, gray day, but the fans are really spirited high for this playoff action. First time ever that 2 teams from the same division will decide the championship due to the fact that West Scranton got the wild card position. And the kick. Line drive, Sailor. It'll be Spano at the 13, 15, 20. Spano, 25, and down around the 29-yard line goes Joe Spano, who rushed for 14 touchdowns this year.
Okay, I think it's very important now for West Scranton to move the football. I don't even necessarily think they need to score here, but they need to show that their offense can move against this Dunmore defense because they're down 14-0, and they need to move into it. Okay, John Evans is up at Crestwood with an update on the Class B title game.
He said it was a better touchdown for him. Let's take a look at that second touchdown right now. It was already 7-0 Crestwood, and they had the ball in the 24-yard line of Blue Mountain. Watch Ambosi duck outside, get outside, go all the way around, hit the end zone. That made it 14-0 with 4 minutes left, and it is now halftime. We'll be back to you in the second half if there is any more scores. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, John, 14-0 up there at halftime. Crestwood dominating that game on their home field so far. And it's the same score here, 14-0 at the home field. Okay, Tim Carlson down on the sidelines. Tim, what's your story?
I think it's very interesting, Joe, that Dunmore has gone the pass route for the big play several times this year, and almost every time this year it's paid off. They've done it again today. I think a lot of it has to do with the field conditions down here. We're going to try to talk to Coach Jack Hentes before the half and see what he has to say about going to that game plan. Gentlemen?
All right, 1st and 10 for the Invaders, trying to get something going here in the late stages of the second period. And it's going to be Spano decked as he tries to crawl around the right side, gets over the 30 to about the 31-yard line, maybe a couple of yards.
I think, Paul, that West Scranton will definitely open it up down here. They need to move the ball, spread out that Dunmore offense a little bit.
And the targets may well be Bill Stetzer, the split end, and Tony Zygmunt, the deep threat. West Scranton has been in the championships for 5 other times, have won only once. In '59 when they beat Hazelton 20-0. 2nd and 8. Pass play by Kennedy, looking, throwing off the fingers of Zygmunt. Down around the 45-yard line.
Yeah, the pass was there, Paul. That was a fine pass. Tony Zygmunt had his hands on it, but couldn't control them. Those are the kinds of plays that are awful important to make, because now you're looking at the 3rd down and 8.
West Scranton lost to Mount Carmel in '54. In Cole Township, the highest score ever in the Eastern Conference, West Scranton lost by a score of 63-6. Last time they played was in '74, and they tied Lourdes Regional 14-14. Here we go, 3rd down and still 8 to go. West trying desperately to get on the board here before the first half ends. Fakes the pitch, gives to Zygmunt, but the tackle is made in the backfield by Griff Altman, number 84. The leading sacker and tackler for the Bucks.
Well, what a great play by Altman. That play is ready to break off on this side, and Altman just comes in and breaks the play down, and there's the Dunmore defense. Okay, now watch Altman here. This play is ready to come this way for Gaynor, and beautifully done inside by Altman. And Dunmore now back to receive as West Scranton will punt.
This is Bill Stetzer. Gets a lot of time to get it away. Hangs it up there. Xenophon backtracking, tries to get to the 35, to the short side of the field, and out of bounds he goes. Right at the 36-yard line. So with 5 minutes and 41 seconds remaining here in the second period, the score is Dunmore 14, West Scranton nothing. We'll be back after this. We're back at Gatto Stadium in Dunmore, 14-0, the Bucks leading, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Dunmore at their own 36-yard line. On that last play, Bob Ruddy shaken up a bit, but walked off under his own power. He'll rest a spell in the backfield. The handoff is to brother Bill this time. Bill Ruddy struggles close to the 40-yard line.
Well, with 5 minutes to go in this first half, I think it's pretty imperative right now what West Scranton has to do. They have to stop. They've got to stop any kind of a drive at all and give the offense an opportunity to get the ball back and move the ball down the field. I would expect West Scranton to be very aggressive.
Dunmore has not been pass-minded all year. They've thrown only 16, and today Xenophon has thrown 2 for 40 yards. Xenophon again, center of the line. Penalty markers are down. Bob Ruddy on the day has 25 yards rushing. Brother Bill, 13, and Xenophon has rushed for 24.
Looks to me like a holding, and that's what it is. Holding against Dunmore, and that'll drive them back.
Talking about Eastern Conference championships, the most ever, Valley View has won 7, Blakely has won 7, Lakeland has copped 6, Mount Carmel 6, Pottsville and West Scranton, and Berwick 4 and Dunmore 4.
On the offense, repeat 2nd down.
Actually not have won them. What I was just giving you were appearances in championship play. West Scranton in 5 appearances. Coughlin in 4, Dunmore in 4. 2nd and 15 for the Bucks after the penalty. And a loose ball pushed forward, still scrambling, as Bob Ruddy may have gotten possession back.
That ball was on the ground for a long time, and West Scranton, that would have been a big break for them if they could have recovered that, but Dunmore has it. Now watch it here again. Just a misconnection here, and it's kicked around. It's on the ground a long time, and boy, that would have been the break that West Scranton was looking for. And one West Scranton player tried to pick that up instead of fall on it, and may have cost them the possession.
So on the fumble, they actually pick up 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Just about 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. The score is Dunmore 14, West Scranton nothing. DiNapoli and Ruddy in the backfield. It's going to be Bob Ruddy. Look at him plant his feet, making sure he's got the footing, and he gets to the 40-yard line.
That's a big defensive play. for West Scranton, because now Dunmore is going to have to punt the ball away. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half, and that's time for West Scranton to put something together, get on the board, and go in down at halftime only 14-7. Big difference between 14-7 and 14-0 in these conditions.
14-0 here, 14-0 Crestwood leading Blue Mountain. Still reports coming up on Bloomsburg University and Hampton College of Virginia. That's the NCAA quarterfinal in Division II. High kick, hangs it up high. There'll be no run back. Gets a bounce, and it is covered back there by Jim Cara of Dunmore.
West came on that. They were trying to block that. In fact, they may have got just a little piece of the kicker, but no call on that, and so West Scranton now will take over in the best field position they've had all afternoon.
So let's see what they can master now. This is a game, Joe, that's been rich in tradition for many years. It was always played on Thanksgiving Day. Then with the new realignment, games were switched. And here they are on the last Saturday that high school football can be played. West and Dunmore fighting for the championship. All right, let's see what Kennedy elects to do. Pitches to Zygmunt, tries to pick a hole, looks for a little daylight, and gets to the 40. 678 yards, rushing, 9 touchdowns.
Bobby Ruddy shut that one down. They tried to sweep his side, and Ruddy was able to fight off a couple of blockers and make the defensive play for Dunmore. Watch it now. They're going to sweep right side of your screen. Number 43, Bobby Ruddy. They're working on him. He turns it in and then makes the play himself on defense. Nice play, Bob Ruddy.
Zygmunt, a great track star, but not actually getting his feet up on this kind of turf. 2nd and 7 for West. 2:20 remaining in the second period. Unbalanced line. This is going to be Spano, and he can take off like lightning as he gets across the 50 for a first down, and that may be the first one.
What terrific blocking, though, up front by that West Scranton offensive line. Very difficult to get traction, and Spano, as you watch him here, just explodes through the line of scrimmage for a big gainer for West Scranton. Little counter play on there, kind of throws the linebackers, and that's what set it up.
So exactly 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The ball just shy of the 50-yard line. Let's see if anything can materialize here for the West Invaders. Kennedy looking, throwing the home run ball. It is intercepted by Xenophon. Mark Xenophon, Joe, his 10th interception of the year, and what a player. Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's what you call throwing into triple coverage, and it's awful tough to complete a pass when it's going into triple coverage, and that's exactly what happened. He was just surrounded on that play. Very difficult to complete that pass. 3 guys all around him. Big play for Dunmore.
So it'll be the Bucks ball, 1st and 10 at their OT 18-yard line, and think now, Joe, they'd be well satisfied to kind of chew off the clock and go into the locker room with a 2-touchdown lead. Bob Ruddy tries to skip rope, tries to hurdle over a player, gets to about the 21-yard line.
Well, with just 1:20 left in the half, Dunmore will not do anything fancy here. What they will want to do, though, is make sure they don't turn the ball over down here.
So you see the clock winding down to the minute mark. Bill Ruddy comes in off the bench. Here you see him, number 37. Napoli coming out. And the clock will continue to move down. So it's going to be Joe D'Antona's strategies now, Joe, in that locker room to see what he can muster up for the second half and try to come from behind as he did last week. The Ruddy boys are still squirting loose.
They'll run one more play off, and then it'll go in at halftime as we have a timeout on the field. Check for the first down.
West Scranton will stop the clock with exactly 40 seconds. Crestwood 14-0 over Blue Mountain. Dunmore 14-0 here over the West Scranton Invaders. Coming up right after this football game, CFA action on Channel 16. It's Auburn and Alabama.
Well, Alabama is already on its way to the Aloha Bowl in Hawaii, but if they were to win today and Tennessee was knocked off by Vanderbilt, then Alabama would end up in the Sugar Bowl. And a reminder, tonight, 1 o'clock, this game will be rebroadcast so that, well, if you like it this much, you can see it again.
So the final timeout, perhaps, of the first half of the traditional Eastern Conference Championship game. Well, I'll tell you, nary a fan has moved out of this stadium. However, now they will be trekking down to the refreshment stands for the hot coffee and hot chocolate.
And I guarantee you that Joe D'Antona will have some inspiring words for those West Scranton Invaders. They've come too far to sort of bail out on this one. There's going to be a real hard-fought second-half football.
We'll be going down to Tim Carlson right after the gun goes off to end the half here. And the pitch is to Bob Ruddy. Look at him hurdle himself over a player, never giving up. He's across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Bob Ruddy piling up yardage here in the late stages of the half.
All but Dunmore wants to do here is hold on to the football. Now watch it coming this way. Again, you get this boy in the open field, and he's very difficult to stop. Now, Dunmore has called a timeout with 33 seconds left here in the first half. All right, we're running out of time here in the first half. Dunmore's a timeout. Tim Carlson live.
Joe, I'll tell you, it's very interesting now to see Dunmore go back to the running game. Of course, they're just trying to eat up the clock, but I think the key to the whole situation has been today is the fact that West has to watch for the pass. And even though they're down 14-0, they still got to be careful of seeing that pass. It'll be interesting to hear what Coach Jack Henses of Dunmore has to say at the half to see why he went into that passing game. They haven't thrown too many this year. We'll talk to him then.
14-0 Dunmore, 33 seconds left here in the first half. And up at Crestwood, where they're playing for the Class B championship, Crestwood leading that game over Blue Mountain, and the score there is 14-0 there at halftime.
Well, rushing yardage is pretty hard to come by on a turf like this, but Bob Ruddy has rushed for 39 yards and has officially, Joe, become a certified All-State candidate right now.
No question about that. The two coaches looking on, Jack Henses for Dunmore, Joe D'Antona for West Scranton. 33 seconds left.
Xenophon. This is Bill Ruddy. Breaks one tackle, bumps into another invader, and goes down at the 38-yard line.
And again, another timeout on the field. And they'll start that clock. That was just a timeout to set the ball. 25 seconds left.
Mark Xenophon pitches to Bob Ruddy yet one more time. Still breaking to the outside to the 45-yard line. And if the clock continues to move, however, there will be one more timeout. Dunmore elects to take this timeout with 14 seconds left to go.
Well, I think Jack Henses realizes if possible, if he could ever get another touchdown up here and win 21-0, that would probably take the wind out of the sails of that West Scranton attack.
Previous to the other games in the Eastern Conference Championship, it was always a battle between the North and the South. However, the Central Division has been in since 1978. They've appeared 7 years and have managed to win one Eastern Conference Championship in 1980 when Wyoming area edged Pottsville 29-27.
As you know, we just love to be in the outdoors here at WNEP. One of our favorite ways to share the outdoor activities with you is our Saturday night combination of Pennsylvania Outdoor Life and Worldwide Adventure on Wild Kingdom. This week on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, there's help for those who find problems when it comes to reading maps. There are some people who sharpen their map reading skills through an activity called orienteering. Plus, we'll check out how bear season 85 was for hunters in our area. Then after Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, we'll travel around the world with Jim Fowler and Marlon Perkins. It's tonight on NEP.
Well, let's see if this is the last play of the first half. Xenophon. He's going to go to the air. He may go for the home run bomb. Now he's going to run it out. There's a penalty marker down. He'll run out of bounds and stop the clock with 7 seconds. And that penalty may come at the hands of, or against the West Scranton Invaders.
Going to have a holding penalty against Dunmore.
The holding was on Mark Spindler, number 74.
7 seconds left in the first half, and I suspect now that Dunmore will just sit on the ball going at halftime, leading 14-0. Mark Xenophon, the 5'7", 165-pound senior from Dunmore.
You talk about games rich in tradition.
Holding.
Some top back.
On the offense. Be third down. Out of bounds or inbounds? In or out, John?
Al Brokner, the referee. Some big running backs for Dunmore. Guy Artizoni, Corey Mead, Lou Costanzo, a former coach here. And how about West Scranton? The Stetzers, Denabon, the Yakavazis. 3rd and 17 for Dunmore. Pitch to Bob Ruddy. He'll go for daylight around the right side, but is hemmed in right at the line of scrimmage. Breaks away. And now is pushed out of bounds as the clock runs out. There's the gun, and the first half is history here at Gatto Stadium in Dunmore as Dunmore leads by a score of 14-0.
We're going to go into the locker room, Paul, warm up a little bit, go over second half strategy, and I watched for West Scranton to come out, open up the ball a little bit in the second half.
And I imagine Dunmore probably will abandon its air game unless they're scored on, and probably elect to use the running brothers of Big, Bill, Bob, and Ruddy, and try to eat up most of the clock. Play ball control as they did here in the first half. We'll have some halftime statistics for you a little later on. Here at Gatto Stadium in Dunmore, it is Dunmore 14, West Scranton nothing. We'll return with halftime action in a moment.
To Gatto Stadium in Dunmore, 14-0 halftime. Dunmore leading West Scranton as you look at the Dunmore Bucks marching band. And they're all out in full bloom this afternoon on an afternoon that has gotten a wee bit cooler, I would say, Paul.
Well, everybody trying to keep warm, hands in pockets, gloves on, but here we go. Listen to some of the Dunmore High School marching band. The Dunmore High School marching band, and now you're going to take a look at the replays of the Ruddy touchdowns, Joe.
Well, here we are early in the game, first quarter, and it's a little sweep to the right. Bobby sees the opening, good blocking out in front. He scores 12 carries, 53 yards, as you can see for him. This is really a nice run as it opens up, and he gets that good downfield blocking. Extra point was good, and that made it 7-0, 11:55 of the second. And then it's Ruddy again. Watch this one again. It opens up. He's going to sweep to the left side after they had tried two up the middle. It's a 3-yard run. Again, the good blocking, nice cut right here. Bobby Ruddy, 2 touchdowns for Dunmore, and that's the scoring so far. Extra point good, 14-0 in the first half. West Scranton had a couple of opportunities. As you look at Bobby Ruddy, one of the Ruddy running twins here at Dunmore. Between the two of them this year, 2,300 rushing yards. So you know what their offense is, but surprisingly enough,
you see them, Joe, the amazing stats all in favor of Dunmore.
Well, not surprisingly, they've had the good field position, you know, and I think that has certainly been a key in the football game. Dunmore has had the field position. A couple of bad punts by West Scranton. Dunmore has taken over. They haven't had to put together any long drives, and it's been their running game so far. And interestingly enough, on the second touchdown, a couple of passes, as you can see, 40 yards total, 2 passes back-to-back that set up that second touchdown for Dunmore. So while they've been doing it mostly with the run, they've also had a couple of important passes in that second touchdown drive, and that's why they're up 14-0 at this point. What you're going to have happen here in the second half is West Scranton's going to have to come out. They had some people open. I think they're going to have to start hitting some of those receivers. They're not going to be able to run the ball and win this football game because they don't have that much time, because Dunmore has the ability to dominate the ball on offense. They will do that when they get the ball back. So I would suspect West Scranton is going to look for some big plays in the second half, go to their wide receivers, maybe try to get Zigmont somewhere out in the open and try to score quickly and get back in the football game.
Well, let's expand a little bit on those statistics. The big man, of course, Bob Ruddy, with 50 yards in the first half. Xenophon has rushed for 24, and number 37, Bill Ruddy, for 19. Xenophon has attempted 3 passes, has completed 2 for 40 yards. One a 24-yarder, the other a 16-yarder. Penalties, 40 yards assessed against the Dunmore Bucks. Now, West Scranton, well, the rushing yardage rather meager there. Spano with 25 and Zigmont with 7 for a total of 32 yards. 0 for 2 in the passing department for Bob Kennedy. He's been intercepted once, and penalties 15 yards against the West Scranton Invaders. So it's 14-0. And Joe, we know the wheels are turning there in the locker room at halftime, but how does Joe D'Antona try to come out of this now? He knows he can come up with a big play, but he is facing perhaps one of the tightest defenses in the league.
Well, I think what he's got to say to his kids is simply, is that, you know, they had poor field position in the first half. They were unable to really get the ball in any kind of position where they could try anything fancy. So I would suspect that that's what he's telling his kids right now, is that, okay, you're down 14-0, but in fact you had the poor field position. Let's get the ball back in the second half. Let's get some good field position. Let's make a couple of big plays, and I think that could be a key for them.
Do you think it might be a carbon copy speech of what he said in the Coughlin's game last week when he was down 12-0 and they came back to win it 19-18?
Not only that, but you say that, they've played Dunmore before, so they know what they're going to see in the second half, so at least they're comfortable in the knowledge that they know what Dunmore can do. But I still think the key in that first half was the field position. The fact that Dunmore had it, made the most of it. West Scranton, meanwhile, was never really able to get something going, untracked in their own end. They're going to really need to get the ball on their side of the field this half and try to put together a quick touchdown up. They do not want to go into that fourth quarter down 14-0.
So we know what the Ruddies can do. They told us in the first half. Now in the second half, it all depends what the Zygmunts, the Spanos, and the Kennedys can do for West Scranton. Will they? Won't they? We'll find out.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think Dunmore really is going to try anything too fancy, although they did open it up. I think when you got that 14-0 lead under these conditions, you do what you do best, and that is you go to the Ruddies, you move the ball down the field, you make that West Scranton defense stop them. Okay, it's 14-0 here at halftime, and the teams are back out on the field. We'll be back for the second half after this.